Hold up just a second, guys. I somehow accidentally started Minecraft. Okay, that's all fixed, and we are live. Well, hello everybody. Today we're going to be playing Hollow Knight, as you can probably guess. But what we're going to be doing is actually beating the game. I did do some other speedruns in the past, a couple months ago, and I will admit, yes, the main reason why I'm doing this is because of Silksong. I've been playing the game again, like loads of other people. But yeah, it was mainly the final boss that I really struggled with, but I managed to beat it on, I think it was Sunday, yeah, and so I decided I'd start speedrunning it. So yeah, let's just begin. Don't know why the mouse is still on the screen. Hopefully it'll go away soon. But here we go. And now what we're going to do immediately is just go over here, because there's some geo in here, which is this game's currency. I'm going to be explaining some stuff about this game, because I am in no way a Hollow Knight YouTube channel. It's mainly Godzilla. So, some of you might not know that much about the game. So yeah. So we're just going to go up here, or maybe we'll fall down, I don't know, depends how I'm feeling. And yeah. So we're going to go out of our way to get some stuff, because this is not by any means a professional speedrun, it's a casual one, because the professional ones are like nearly under half an hour, and that is a bit too short for my liking. Also, I'm nowhere near skilled enough to do that, but you know. So we're just going to be going out of our way to get some geo, because we need to buy a lot of stuff in this particular run. We're going to ignore that blue thing for now, and instead we're just going to do this. Right, we jump up here, because they give you a stagger effect when you fall down from that, but if we go down like this, now we won't get that effect. Just saves a little bit of time. Going to get this geo here. Just pogo on some spikes, and then get our first charm. This is Fury of the Fallen. We're not going to actually be using this one at all. We're just keeping it so that we can afford more charm notches later. As you can see, we're background here. So once again, we go up. You can just pogo off of those objects to get just a little bit more height, which is pretty fun to do. Yeah, now this stuff is lifeblood. It gives you 2 extra masks of health, which is very useful. Yeah. So it did take quite a bit of time, but not that much, as opposed to getting a different charm, or having to pay a bunch of geo for another charm later on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to aim our nail, which is our sword, upwards, so that we don't get knocked back, which makes it a bit quicker. And this is the Switch version, which is why it looks a bit weird, and I don't think that mouse is going away, unfortunately. Once we pass this street light, we're going to start jumping, because the game wants to put us in a walking phase, because we enter Dirtmouth. And there's a bench here which regains our health, and there's a save point, but we're not going to sit on it because 1, we automatically do that, we automatically save there, and 2, it takes a bit of time because we can't actually sit on it until that big loading thing goes away. So we're just going to make our way over here, get some geo, fight some bad guys, and yeah. So yeah, this is a Switch version, not the PC, which means some skips, like a Vengeful Spirit skip, and also this one, where you usually open the menu in the PC version to stop you getting staggered like that. But yeah, we can't exactly do that. That's a cartographer, Cornifer. We'll see him a few more times in this run, but we're not going to get any maps since we already know the route. Once again, some more geo up here. Well, I guess it's a bit of a waste of time, but I prefer to get it on the way than have to backtrack. So down there's an arena. I have to fight some asphids, I believe they're called. Yeah, asphids. They just shoot acid at you. That's one of our life blood hearts gone, and you can see that we cannot actually regen that. Now lifeblood masks go away when you sit on a bench, which we're going to be doing shortly, because we're about to face the first boss, and it's not that guy. Up there you may be able to see a glowing white thing. We'll be coming back for that later. It's a mask shard. We get 4 of those, we can make a new mask. Basically another heart of health. So we have nearly 200 geo, which is good, because we need to get a stag station, which requires 50 geo. Now, we won't actually be using that stag station anytime soon, but no, it depends how this run goes. We're just going to head up here. And then buy this. Sit on the bench, ignore the little charm window, and now we're off to the first boss, the False Knight. It's not that guy either, he's a mini-boss, and we're going to ignore him for now. We're going to fight another version of him later, but for the most part, that's going to be in quite a while. So we head up here, and here's the arena with the False Knight. So let's drink some water. We don't have to worry about those guys because he squishes them all. If we hit him enough times, we can just open up his mask, heal a bit, and then reveals he's actually a maggot instead of a refuse farmer. Get him again, then we're going to get back because we can't do that, but we can still shoot these meteorites at him. Since we hit him enough times, he doesn't have time to attack again because of how much of an epic gamer we are. Yep. And so this is the third and final time. Well, I mean, there's another one, but at this point hitting him doesn't matter. But he's going to do a big slam, and he's going to fall down, and we can pogo off of him, and then we can start slapping him. Eventually explodes. You may notice this little staff thing behind our antlers. We're going to position ourselves there so we can instantly pick up the city crest. And by the time we do that, that gate opens at pretty much perfect time. We can just get this geo. There is a lot of it. So now we've done that, we're going to head for our first power up, which is the Vengeful Spirit. And we need that to get into the next area, because there's an enemy which can only be defeated with the Vengeful Spirit. That's how these Metroidvanias work. They have big maps you can basically go at any time, but they're locked behind abilities. So you need to explore the current area to get the abilities. Anyway, we're going to talk to this guy. He's going to give us the power up, and then we're going to fall unconscious and wake up in, I don't know, I think it's a mine shaft. Yeah, it's right next to him. And what he wants us to do, as he says later, is destroy this armadillo boss guy. But thankfully we don't have to talk to him to know what situation we're in. Yeah. We're gonna hold off a bit until those wooden things appear, because I found that if I use my Vengeful Spirit early, those ones are not destroyed. It takes a bit of time to destroy them. We're just gonna start heading up here, poke off of that guy. Attempt to poke off of that guy. We're going to try and do that one again. Nope. So yeah, just a little bit of platforming and parkour. Now behind us there is some more juice, but we don't need that. Right, now you want him to shoot at another one of the little armadillo guys, which is that guy. Because that way we get enough juice to get another Vengeful Spirit and defeat him. Then we pick up our second charm. So we talk to this guy, who basically asks us to do us a favour, and he's like, oh wait, you already did it. And so then we can go to Green Path, our second area. So we're out of the first area in just under 10 minutes. Hold up. That's odd. A little bit of a delay there. So it's going to be another armadillo guy. So, and we know they require 3 Vengeful Spirits to defeat. So we're just going to get some of these enemies here to fill up our little big mask thing at the side, and then we can go to Green Path. So again, we really want him to shoot out another little armadillo guy, which he does, which is very good, and that's easy. It's one really funny thing, whenever I start saying the game is easy, I immediately die. So we are now in the second area, Green Path, and the ability of this area is a dash, and that lets us get to different one. So we're going to go up here, get this guy off because he explodes. Now there is a skip here which is very famous, a Vengeful Spirit skip, but I am not experienced enough to do it, and I'm not even sure if it works on Switch version. That mouse is really staying there for some reason. I think I'll try and sort that out on the next bench. Yeah, as you can see, there's this person here, on it, trying to follow her, so the game wants us to go down. So instead we're going to lure this guy, since thankfully he's rather easy to position. To go up there, there we go, perfect, and then we poke off of him, and we don't need a double jump or a Vengeful Spirit. That's pretty good. We go up this route because there's a moss charger down there who's going to try and get us, but we're too fast because we went above it. Oh. And now we're going to go up here. So that Vengefly skip just saved us about 5 minutes, I'd say. And we also want to get some more juice, because there is another boss, like the Armadillo, mini boss, who South can be easily taken down with only 3 Vengeful Spirits and a singular nail swipe. which is rather funny since I remember when I was starting this game I used to really struggle with them and just go out of my way to avoid them, but yeah. I learned that power-ups like Vengeful Spirit are the easiest way to take down bosses. So we're going to pogo off of that guy, pogo off of that guy. So he's going to be disguised inside the grass, and we're meant to get to the end, but if we just swipe at him, there we go. If we dink him, oh, doesn't do that before, and yep, that's him done pretty easily. And once again, going to be fighting another boss, a Vengeful King. And in doing so, we inadvertently save Zote, who is definitely a character who exists. I'm really good at commentary. Once again, we're trying to get up as much juice as possible. And once again, there's a much faster way to defeat this guy, but it is less consistent. So we are not going to do that, we're going to take it relatively slow and steady. We're just going to wait for him to dive, and Vengeful Spirit him. Should be one more Vengeful Spirit. Thankfully didn't spawn any minions, which he sometimes does. So we just get a bunch of geo from that. And then we head down here. Though actually we do want some more juice. So we're just going to go back and get some more enemies. Because there's another of those Moss Knight people who is blocking a grub. And grubs are very adorable and we love them very much. So we're going to try and rescue as much as them. And that is the only reason why we rescue them, because of how adorable they are, and of how loving and charitable we are, and definitely not because they get us money. Input delay again. This is actually really subtle foreshadowing for when I fight a boss and start dying a bunch. Then I could say the input delay from earlier returned. Once again. So, the right there is where Hornet is. We're going to fight her. But first we're going to sit on the bench, because there is a rather long and tedious segment which is unskippable unless we go here. We're not going to get the stag. We are going to do, however, is just quickly pause this. And now I'm going to try and just sort something out quickly. Hopefully this stops the drift. And then that, we just go up to this one. Nope. Go up to this one. Nope. This one. Nope. It's not light. Oh, is it this one? There we go, it was that one. Right, and so now we can just quickly adjust this. This should hopefully stop the input delay. Or it might just be the HDMI thing I'm using. And now we can resume. There we go, that feels much better. Oh yeah, much better. So yeah. We're going to go up to defeat Hornet. Basically, these three beings known as the Dreamers appear. We'll be dealing with them later. And yeah. And they knock you unconscious and then you wake up, but that's a save point. So here we go. Fight Hornet now. be over soon. There we go. So you may notice a little guy over here, where he drops the Mothwing Cloak, which is the dash. And so we can now just quickly pick this up. And then quit to menu. We're going to be doing a lot of that because benches save our progress, like with Geo and Charms, but they do not save our, what's the term? They don't save our location. So if you exit and rejoin, you go back to the last bench you were on. There are some automatic save points, but now we can dash. So yeah, we're going to go up here, break this hidden wall. It's going to be a big Venus flytrap monster in here, but also an artifact. We're going to be picking up a few of these artifacts because we can sell them for more Geo. It's useful. Just gonna wait. There we go. Squish that guy. Still take damage because I am an excellent gamer. As you can see, the dash means we can move a lot faster. And there's even a charm we're going to get, which lets us dash even faster. There we go, got there eventually. So, we're heading to the next area. Fog Canyon, Queen's Gardens and Fungal Wastes. Yeah. Mainly Fungal Wastes, but there's like a bit of all three of them. As you can see, those massive moss chargers are just little guys wearing grass. Like how in this room there's a bunch of enemies using a bunch of projectiles, and yet I die to the simplest moving one. There's some plants here which try and shoot at us, but we can just speed past them. And then over here, there's a thing. Now they want us to poke off that guy, but we have the dash, so we can just make our way down here. And yay! Right. So down here there are some jellyfish. We're not going to attack the big ones because the big ones explode. And the explosions are very painful. I'm pretty sure we can actually hit that guy, since he's above acid. Yep. If you hit them down to acid, they do not explode. As you can see, there's another one of those signs you may have noticed earlier. Those are for stack stations. And so we're just going to be going down here. There's another mask shard in this room, which we are going to get later as well. So for that reason, we are going to go not only on the bench, but also we're going to buy the stack station. Now I don't know the exact amount of Geo we need for this entire run, or per room or whatever, so I usually just do more than needed, because again it saves backtracking. It means progress is slower, but it's more consistent. So here we are, Fungal Wastes. Now all these enemies are annoying, and we are coming up on a very stressful room. Basically these plants try and shoot explosives at you. So yeah, we've got to try and get through here as quickly as possible. Oh, no, that is not as quickly as possible. Thankfully the other one exploded that one, so... Yay. Now the ability of this area is a wall climb, which is very useful. There are some other skips, but again I am not nearly as skilled and this is only a casual stream. But we are going to go up here to get that Geo. Right, there's still mushroom guys, who we can just ignore. Get them a bit for some extra soul. And then we can regen. We're going to hit this level because why not? We don't ever come back here, but if we die then it'll be easier. And here we are. Small bosses. These guys are big mushroom guys. Now they shoot acid, which is annoying, so we're going to try and stay as close to them as possible to get them to bang their head against the ground of frustration. And then that saves the arena from being changed, and also means that it's easier to attack them. And they drop a charm notch. So we only have, I think, 3 charm notches right now, and that's our 4th one. So each charm costs a different amount. So for example, one charm could cost 1, one could cost 3, most of them are around 2. Oh. Set up one has more enemies but less platforming, so we go up here, and then we try not to die, because that would be very, very silly. So yeah, the screen is going to shake a bit here because there's a character there, thankfully not an enemy, but we don't need them, so we're just going to ignore them. Just bouncing some shrooms over here, and then we make our way down here. And Hornet's there, and she runs into the City of Tears, but we do not have the Mantis Claw yet, so we can't get that. So we're going to go get that. Here we are, in the Mantis Village. And these guys are kinda annoying. As you can tell, some of them can parry attacks. Ooh, did not see that guy there. We're just going to make our way down here, and that's where the Mantis Claw is. We'll be coming back this way for Dashmaster and Bretta, so we can actually make this gap since we have the dash. We're going to be going down the bottom route first. Now if we eventually throw at them, they only take 1 more hit to die, and we can get them to start attacking early, which means we're a good distance away and we can counter attack. Just gonna heal a bit. Attack this one up here, but there shouldn't be any more big ones. Oh, that's embarrassing. So yeah, Mantis Claw is just over here, and then we'll be able to climb up walls like Spider-Man, except not really. Now there is a bench near where we're going to go now, so we could have gotten it earlier, but I find that just is kind of like a waste of time, because we're not stopping the timer based on game time, we're doing it based on stream time, so minimal pauses. And also it's a lot more interesting to watch somebody, more entertaining to watch somebody move around and actually play a game, rather than, you know, not. Right, so that's Bretta up there. We're going to save her out of the kindness of her heart, and definitely not because she gives us a Master Shard. Here's Dashmaster, that's a charm, it's very useful. So I'm going to go over here so we can hit both of them. with the Vengeful Spirit, which means we can kick them out in a single hit each. A little bit of platforming now. Oh. That could have ended badly. Yeah. One thing I do really like about this route is that, I mean, I was really struggling against the final boss, so instead of trying to get really good time now, I decided to just go on my way, get some more abilities, and then I was able to beat it first try. So that was pretty neat. And then because of that, we've added some more stuff to this route than you would normally do. Namely some more power-ups. Nope. So yeah, I'm actually going to equip Dash Master immediately because it is very good. And while we're at it, we'll equip a different one. Just because it's better to have it than not. As you can see, we can now effortlessly climb up walls. Yeah. But due to the alterations I've made, this run, it doesn't show you what the Hollow Knight has to offer, but it does a pretty good job of going through it. I'm pretty sure every area is in it. But also goes to like all four corners of the map. And I mean that it goes the highest up, the lowest down, and farthest left and right. As you can see, we're starting to get some parkour in with all these new power-ups, which is going well, especially this part, if we don't fail it. Don't bounce on that one, because that's intentional game design. Trying to get the player to bounce on it and then get shot into an explosive. So now we can go into the City of Tears. Because as you can probably see from here, it's impossible to get up to without the Mantis Claw. Once again, a little bit more parkour. That's nothing too extreme. I knew that would happen. As soon as I mention anything to do with... oh, dang it. We're never going back this route again, so we don't need to open that. And this is where we use the City Crest from the False Knight. So yeah, City of Tears, only half an hour. That's pretty good if I do say so myself. And in case you have short-term memory loss or skipped the last 5 seconds, I did say that myself. Yeah, we're taking a bit of damage, but that's fine because if I remember correctly, yep, there's a bench here with this character Krill, who we'll be seeing again. So now we're going to head out to an old retired nailsmith, and he's going to give us an upgrade, which is very nice. We're going to get another upgrade, but the first upgrade is you don't need any pale ore and costs 400 geo, but then the second one costs a pale ore and I believe 800 geo, and then of course the last one costs 3 pale ore and I believe 1500 geo, and pale ore is not that common. So anyway, we're going to talk to this guy, and he's going to reforge the nail. Oh, only 250 geo, that's good. So, pale ore is actually rather rare. So, yeah, it takes a bit to get each piece. And some of them are locked behind bosses and Deep Nest, which is the worst thing that has ever been created. It's just full of a bunch of spiders and stuff. So we don't go there. I mean, we do, but we don't stay there for long, hopefully. Unless I die like in my last attempt. I'm so used to Shadow Dash. Well, that guy cannot get us. I mean, that guy can, but we can just... There we go. Another reason why we're going up here, I mean, besides just it being on the route. Oh, we didn't mean to do that. Here we go, just to get that artifact. Actually, there's a guy over here. That's going to take a bit more time now. Because you can't enter through this way, you have to go through the top. Hate the way they dodge back. Trust me, the only reason I can actually speedrun this is because I know the route. It has nothing to do with skill whatsoever. Just poke off of that guy. And so yeah, we're going to sell our stuff to this guy down here. He's known as Lem. And we're also going to undo that lever so we can get up here another route later. So we don't actually need any of this geo, but I want to say I'm pretty confident I won't die, but I know that if I say that I will die as soon as I enter the next room. So we're just going to sell it for the sake of speed. So you're going to have to come all the way back down here. And over here, let's just get this geo chest. And so now we're going to be heading up. A few enemies we have to defeat on the way up here. So too extreme. We can choose this guy by just hitting him through the floor. Which is a bit weird, but I don't question it. Okay. Now we go up here. One neat thing about Dash Master is that it also lets you to dash downwards. Like so. So now we don't have to go all that way up again. And now, to our right there's a bench, as you can tell by that bench sign. And there's also a grub up here, which we're just going to quickly get. He seems pretty happy to see us. But we're not going to go get that bench, because that room there is sort of like an arena room. We have to defeat a few enemies, and it takes some time. And we have to defeat this enemy either way. And they are incredibly annoying. And I do mean annoying. But there's a room down here which you need a key to enter, but the entrance to that locked room isn't locked itself and contains a secret entrance. So we are going to have to go this route either way to get to this bench later on, just because it saves a bunch of time. So as opposed to going through that arena, we just save a little bit more backtracking. So we just do a safety bench, because I'm very likely to die in this next part, because it is really annoying. Yeah. Now this is Soul Sanctum, and it contains a lot of creepy guys. That's those ones which shoot energy at us, which is annoying. Like teleporting, and then also these little sludge dudes. They also appear whenever we break one of these. Thankfully these guys are really easy to defeat, so a good way of getting soul to defeat those guys. And boom, there we go. And now there's another mini boss who, again, I want to say he's a complete joke, but I know that I'm going to die if I say that. There he is. You may notice the theme going on with the weird faces. That's pretty consistent. Many of those energy, which is really annoying to deal with. Yep, there we go. And just under 40 minutes, and we are prepared to go into the most annoying segment in this entire run. I mean, I'd say it's third. There's some other ones. I'm sure I can't remember them now, but I'm sure I will be able to when we get there. Skip the elevator because it's quicker. Once again, we can hit this guy through the floor if we don't constantly botch it up like we always do. Blow off of that guy, and we have a lot of juice, so we can go through here. Don't hit that. Oh, never mind. I guess that guy spawns either way. Now we're not going to heal at this point because we want to keep our soul. That's not very nice. See what I mean? They just constantly teleport. It's beyond infuriating. Right, okay, and this part we're just gonna try and run. Hit this lever, and then we go up here to get another charm. This one's very useful. Gives us more bang for our buck. What it does is it increases the amount of soul we get when we hit enemies with a nail. It increases the amount of soul we get when we hit enemies with a nail. Outside of this game, that sentence just sounds so bizarre. What was I saying? Yep. And so this is also useful to get enough soul for the boss fight. Who will get us the Desolate Dive, which we need to get to the next area. We don't need it, but we need it eventually. And also, it's the first part to get to the Descending Dark, which is one of the best abilities in the entire game. Because it gives us some invulnerability frames, a lot of invulnerability frames. And what that means is, if we use it during a boss fight, none of the attacks will be able to hit us. Which means as you can tell, I've gotten pretty good at this guy. It's so good, in fact, I don't feel bad saying that I'm good, because I know that I won't die in this part. So that's a level of confidence you can only attain to after beating this guy so many times. And here we go. He's defeated, but not actually. He's just screaming. I'd be surprised if you can hear me over his screaming. And now we get this ability before he decides to jump scare us. Boom. So for this part, Dash Master is very useful. So he's going to constantly do this until eventually he spawns. And then when he does that, we just hit him with a few mental spirits, hit him with the nail a couple times, then the mental spirit again, before he gets to his next phase. There we go. And he is 100% defeated. So now we're gonna actually get this power up, which restores all our juice. If you look at the top left of the screen, and yeah, there you go, just under 45 minutes, and we've gotten past Soul Master. So yeah, we're gonna go up here to get a geo chest. Yeah, there are these statues which give us more juice, which is always nice. And now we're gonna head down here. We're gonna go over this segment, I believe. We're just gonna have to go for it a bit because there's a grub down here, and we like grubs. So yep, we go down here, and then we get this artifact here. If we're quick enough, the weird guy won't spawn. Then we can go down here, and we just stay over here, but we do use that. Oh, so you can tell these enemies are not really a hassle, but when there's so many of them, they become extremely annoying. Yeah, I'm really excited for Silksong, to be honest. I mean, it looks to have a lot more parkour potential, speedrunning potential, but I'm not really excited about that. I'm mainly excited about being able to play through Hollow Knight again, basically, because about halfway through our first run, we looked up a bunch of spoilers, and so didn't actually get to fully explore the game. And then when I tried to replay it after beating it, well, not beating it, but getting to the end, but then not being able to beat the final boss, I couldn't actually take my time and enjoy it. I had to go for it fast, which is then why I got to speedrunning. I mean, I say speedrunning at this pace compared to professionals. It's more of a speed, brisk walking. But here we go. So we go down this way. Once again we go up here. But it's a bit finicky because as you can tell there's a little pathways on it. There we go. Remove this one, instead equip this one because it's basically just a cooler version of it. So now at this point, that's Zote again. Zote, our beloved. Here we go. Now this part is always very annoying. Either I take so much damage, like just then. Yep, okay, I need to retreat. Or I constantly fall down. Usually though, it's just pretty much even mix of both. Let this be an educational moment to you kids. Don't run from your problems, you'll only make them worse. Just hit them with a rusty nail, and that makes them go away forever. Or at least until you enter the room again. So yeah, here is a simple key. We're going to be using it later. because we need it to be able to get to sewers so we can fight a grown man who throws poo around. A lot of stuff about this game can be extremely weird when taken out of context. We're just going to regen there before we realise that there's literally a bench right here, so we don't actually need to restore any of our health. Satisfying chain effect, and then we're going to go to the bench. And now let me try and remember what we're going to do now. Right, and here we go. We're going to meet the stag for the first time. So he's going to talk to us, but as much as we like him, we only need to go to Forgotten Crossroads. And as I said earlier, this is going to be a lot of exiting and rejoining, because it's sort of like a tree. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. We go a lot of different routes. For example, we are now going to go defeat a boss known as the Gruzmother. Which is quite possibly the saddest boss in this entire game. Not because, like, you know, that happened too early. I was about to say not because of, you know, the name or whatever, just because of how easy it is. But the game immediately started fighting back, so yeah. Just have to defeat all of these guys now. And we can go over here and go meet this person, who will sell us some charms. One of these is known as Shaman Stone, and it increases the size of our power-ups. And it is, without a doubt, incredible. I'm just going to get this charm watch, and I believe, yep, that's it. We're going to be getting that other charm watch later. We're also going to talk to the most greedy person on the entire planet, and that is Sly. He is currently under the infection, like most bugs, which is why they attack us, and why their eyes are orange. Because this kingdom succumbed to an infection which took over weak-minded individuals. Hence all the orange particles. So yes, until this point it could be seen as blood, but it's just like acid and goo. Acid and goo doesn't really sound much better, to be honest. Anyway. Nope, we're actually going to go to Forgotten. Actually going to go to Dirtmouth, the place from the beginning. And he wants to talk to us again, but we don't care, so we're just going to go back up here and get the most overpriced item in this entire game, a Lumberfly Lantern. It lets us see in the dark. And the reason why it's overpriced is because the shopkeeper, who we just rescued by the way, is very greedy. He puts a fly inside a lantern and says it's 18,000 geo. But he also does sell marsh shards, which are useful. As you can see, Brett is here, and she's now got her own home here. And we're going to quit. Now in her home she's going to have the marsh shard, but we're not going to get it yet, because I think it'll just be easier to get it all in one big go. Okay, just under an hour, and we're already heading into Crystal Peak. You might have noticed by now, but the, yeah, we're gonna just a quick dash marks in favour of Stormstone. But the date beneath the title is it's actually tomorrow. And what happened was, okay, I definitely didn't plan this stream to be tomorrow, then move it forward. No, instead I had the foresight to plan it for Saturday. And yeah, I just want to be really inclusive, so that date is for anybody who's watching this, specifically tomorrow. Another date just then. So yeah, we're going to pay 50 geo to get in here. And this is Crystal Peaks. There's another way which is free, but this is a lot faster. And while I was nattering away, we also got another grub, which was nice. There's quite a bit of parkour sections in this, but it's pretty fun. Well, this is one room where it's really dark, and that is torture. So there's a bench over here, which we're going to sit on, because like we just did, we're going to quit back here in a bit. After you get the crystal heart, which basically lets us zoom around everywhere. I mean, not everywhere, left and right. Pretty much everywhere though. Yeah, gonna go up this way, and we're gonna have to go all the way up to the top, and then all the way to the bottom again. Guy, and we're actually going to spend a bit more time and try not to rush things because you might die, because this is a little platforming segment to get that grub up there, and we like grubs, as I have repeatedly what's the right word to use in this situation? Repeatedly mentioned, yeah, or insinuated. SMG up here we're going to get, and these guys are also very annoying. They shoot lasers, which sounds really really cool in concept, but in practice the lasers tend to hit me in the face a lot. And the lasers are very cool apart from when they're lasers in your face, or Alderon lasers. That was a pop culture reference. Hold up. Yeah, we went the wrong way. We're just going to go down here, and there's another mini-boss here, who we are going to utterly ignore, because he is sleepy, and we don't need to fight him. Nope. I went the wrong way again. Okay, now I'm confused. Whereabouts is it? You know, I'll just keep heading up. It's only a little time saver. Dodge that one. If I go up into to the top of the next room and it's that way, I'm gonna be extremely happy, because it means that even though I went the wrong way, I still got there eventually. So these cute little guys, but unfortunately we're going to have to destroy them so we can heal. We're also going to get this, the shopkeeper's key. Yep, okay, it was in this room. So as you can see, there's this big crystal bug there, but we can just ignore him. And now this is just to speed things up. When we come back here, we're going to open that lever. We don't need to do any of the other ones, just that one. And we're going to ignore the temptation to hit him, because if we hit him he has a tantrum and then tries to kill us, which I guess is kind of fair, but also I don't like being killed, so yeah, we're not going to hit him. And we're going to ignore, we're going to dodge that laser with skill and not luck. So yeah, we're now at the very top, well, not at the very top, there's another part higher up, and we will be coming back here again, because at the very highest point there is a piece of pale ore. And that's the payload I've decided to get. I knew I was going to get hit in the face with the laser at some point. Yeah. At this point we're just heading downwards. Because in this room here, we have the crystal heart. Which is, again, it gives us the zoomies. I'm just going to hit that lever. And this part is actually a pretty difficult platform part. I might die here. But I got a lot of practice in, so hopefully not. As you can tell, it's... See what I mean? Fine with all, like, the main parkour stuff, because I need to take my time, but as soon as I go somewhere else, try and speed things up. Thankfully there's a little statue over here we can use to get some more health. There's some lasers here. Why did I do that? We can actually just skip it down here. Oh no, I've only got 2 health left. I might die here. Nope, nope. Oh my goodness. That was rather close, if I do say so myself. Here we go. And this is the crystal heart. You can tell because it's in a big, like, mechanical bug miner thing. So, yep, as you can see, we can now, as soon as I get past all that text, dash. And this is very, very fun to use. This gives you some time to get some water. So we're actually going to backtrack a bit, which isn't entirely necessary. We can always just go back up here later. But basically what we're doing is we're unlocking an elevator, which we cannot do. We haven't passed earlier, but we can't actually get up there without the crystal dash. And as we'll see here, this is the reason why we did the thing earlier, so that way we can just easily go up there as opposed to going through all the platforming again. So we can just, oh my, how am I such a dummy? Not float. Oh, I was expecting to have monarch wings, double jump, but I didn't. Okay, how are we going to do this now? No, I'm not sure if we can get up that. Ow, I'm not sure if we can get up that way. That's what was. I thought to myself, oh, wait, I remember correctly. Crystal Dash, damages things it goes by. I sure hope it doesn't damage this guy. No, it won't. I'm just remembering stuff wrong. The way his eyes just lit up as well. It's not too bad, to be honest. Because we can just go this way. And thankfully we don't have to fight him again. Oh, I've not been this place before. Is this the right way? I'm going to assume it is. And if not... Okay, we do not die here. We die here with this Geo. Because, basically, you might have seen, it turns into a... No, this is not the right way. Okay. Now we've got to try not to die. Because you might have seen that when we die we turn to a little shade. And if we defeat that shade we actually get all our Geo back. However, if we don't, we lose all our Geo. Basically, if we die while there's a shade around, we lose that shade's Geo. Which I wouldn't put past me to die right now and lose all that Geo. Yep, I would not put... You know what? Safety first. still baffled that I activated that boss. Even more so that I didn't actually beat him. I mean, I haven't fought him in ages, so that makes sense. Alright, third time's a charm, hopefully. Oh, cooking. If I'm silent, am I more concentrated? No, not that room. Hope you enjoy the vigorous button mashing. Here we go, up this way. Here we go. Now we want to lure our shade over here. Because look, the boss doesn't activate again. But if we try and hit the shade, we accidentally hit the boss. Oh, yeah, he also has our power-ups. There we go. So yeah, we'll warn you guys though. The next grub we're gonna get is not particularly pleasant, because for some reason the developers of this game added something known as a grub mimic, which is basically, well, it's actually pretty self-explanatory. A mimic disguised as a grub. So you think you're rescuing a grub, but actually it's this like horrific spider-like thing, which looks like a grub. So even if you ignore him, when he gets sad, you leave him. Rather, when he goes off screen, I guess he doesn't turn into a grub mimic if you don't get him. Huh. You can just ignore him. That's cool, I didn't know that. I mean, I'll show you guys anyway. And now we run because he can follow us. Yeah. Pretty nasty. Here we go, elevator. So next time we need to go to Crystal Peaks to get the pale law at the very top, we don't have to go through all that platforming again. We can just go from Dirtmouth to the elevator, and then we're 3/4 of the way at the top. And that only took another 6 minutes. You may notice the in-game time is 2 minutes behind. That's because it doesn't actually include time spent in the menu, or in rare cases lag frames. But this game is generally well optimized. So these guys are annoying. People think that primal asphids are annoying, but I find these guys detestable. As you can see, they shoot crystals at you, and then, I mean, you can deflect them, but it's so annoying, especially when you don't have much space to navigate, like in this segment. As you can see, they can easily kill us. Without them, this part's pretty easy, but again, it must be something like psychological or whatever. I have no idea why as soon as I say something's incredibly easy or whatever, I then just die. Just gotta wait for this guy. And now we can continue on, not down there, but rather over here. Another platforming segment, and thankfully this time it's still got the same guys, but a lot less annoying. Because we can just breeze past most of them. So we have to use a Desolate Dive, because this is actually where you get... You may have noticed I pogoed here to stop the stagger, and then I immediately dashed into the crystals. So yeah, let's lure this guy over here. We can ignore this one though. And then we have to attack that guy for some more juice. But yeah, this is where we get the Descending Dark, which is the first void spell we're gonna get. Nope. May notice some more armadillos, and that's because we get it from another snail shaman, like the guy who gave us the Vengeful Spirit. Except, unfortunately for him, he's not feeling very well. As you can probably see. So we just smash this crystal, and then we get it. And this one means that, it's larger hitbox left and right, but also a part of it goes up, which I'll show you. Yeah, but not only does it do a lot of damage and a much wider radius, but it also, it's the key point, gives us more invulnerability frames. So for example, when we fight the Watcher Knights, which we will in a bit, I'll say a bit, probably about 40 minutes, yeah, we can use it to avoid getting hit. So here are the three dreamers. Now we can't actually skip this part, so you get to learn some lore. So Wrecked Vessel, Dreamers Lay Sleeping, Manuel the Teacher, Lyrian the Watcher, Harrow the Beast. And yeah, we have to defeat them to be able to unlock the final boss, who is the vessel sealed away. So as you can see, there they are. And they don't like how far we've gotten, so they just imprison us to the Dream Realm, which as you can see consists of absolutely nothing. However, eventually a little moth guy will show up, because moths do not like the Dreamers, and they shall give us our next power up, and that is the Dream Now, which lets us see what people are thinking, whether that be enemies, NPCs or bosses. But the neat part is that if you dream down enemies and bosses, you get a bit of soul, so it can be a good way to like get some soul to heal or cast spells. So yeah. Now this moth, the Radiance, is actually, I don't believe it's Radiance, different moth, but there is a moth known as Radiance, and that's behind the infection. Because the previous ruler, the one who made this kingdom, the Pale King, was taking away the Radiance's subjects, so the Radiance created the infection, and so in turn the Pale King created the vessel and sealed him in the black egg, which he protected with the three dreamers. And so in the true ending, you defeat the Radiance, but we're going for any percent, so instead we're just getting a different ending, one which only requires defeating the final boss, not the secret final boss. Right, okay, let me think. Yep, okay, or City Storms. Yep. If you remember last time we were here, I mentioned there's a man who throws his poo around. We're going to fight that guy now. Actually, I'm gonna unequip that one in favour of Dash Master, just for simplicity's sake. So that's also where we got the simple key over here, because we can't get to the royal waterways without it. Thankfully we can use our crystal dash at this point, and that lets us just breeze past this. Not that far. Wait, no, yes, that far. Because even though we've already gone there before, if we were to go down there, we would, yeah, we'd have to go through the, like, enemy boss room thing. And that would take time, which is precisely what a speedrun is opposed to. So we just go all the way down here. Just on this elevator. And the lem's here again, which is nice, but we don't care about the lem. We just want to get to the royal waterways again. So we use a simple key there, and we go down here. And this part is not very nice. It's very weird. It's kind of creepy, to be honest. It's not bad as Deep Nest, but thankfully we don't spend much time in Deep Nest. So we're going to follow this bench, and you may notice to get to this bench we need the Desolate Dive, or Descending Dark. Those guys explode, we don't like those guys. But we're just going to go over here quickly to get a grub. Then we use the Desolate Dive here. Then we go, bench. Now I'm going to keep Dash Master because we don't get to another bench for a while. Ignore that weird worm guy. Nope, we have to go fight that weird worm guy. Unless he's just gone. Also these guys, which are just horrendous. Avoid this exciting guy, and you may be able to hear him. I don't know, there's no sound for me. But yeah. That's why I said about him earlier, painting him in not a modest light, but he's probably my favourite boss, to be honest. This guy. And using the Descending Dark, we can actually just trigger him early. So yeah, he's based on the Dung Beetle, which you can probably tell. Next to Barrow in the ground, but we can use Descending Dark to get him out. Here we go, see. Dang it. Oh no, I'm not gonna. Oh well. It's like I always say, second tries a charm. Thankfully that bench is relatively close to him. Yeah. I don't think after this boss fight I'm just gonna pause the stream for maybe a minute 30 seconds to set up the sound on my end, because this game has a really good soundtrack. So that's what always happens. I get near the boss's end, and then I get overconfident. I'm like, okay, it's only like a couple more hits, I can tank it. He's going to do multiple burrowings in the ground, but we can just there we go. Oh no, never mind. Maybe. because I fought him in the God Home, which is basically something you get after you beat me. There we go. That is the Dung Defender defeated. So I'm actually just gonna quickly pause and then mute this quickly. Hello. Yeah, my bad. I knew that would happen. I knew as soon as I muted, and as soon as I did that, I knew, okay, gotta remember, because usually what happens is I mute and then I forget to unmute. And thankfully someone just reminded me that I was muted, which is nice. But, yep, we probably saw that. I just got the monarch wings with a double jump, and now we're going to go defeat the dreamers to unlock the black egg. 3, 2, 1. So you can poke off of that object to get up here without the monarch wings, but usually we don't. I mean, I can do it, but I'd rather my ego not be fed as opposed to it taking more time. But yeah, we're now 30 minutes and we're getting to dreamers. Here you go, safety bench. Though we are going to equip this one because the watch knights are a very big pain. So yeah. Now, out of all the dreamers, the watch is definitely the hardest one. We don't actually fight the dreamers. We sort of just sit there while we whack them. Which I'm sure has some law implications, but I do not know those. I actually need to defeat that guy, so we're not. What was that? Don't want to get that one's attention. But yeah, it's like with the final boss. I was really struggling with it, and I went out of my way to get another power up, that being monarch wings. You just push that guy down there and he cannot do anything. Pull the lever in case you die. But yeah, I was really struggling with them. Then went out of my way to get another power up, and then beat them fairly quickly, which is good. However, if I'm going to die on a boss, it's going to be this one, not Dung Defender. I would not die on Dung Defender, because famously, Dung Defender is my favourite, and I played him so many times. We're going to break this wall up here to unlock a chandelier. Didn't mean to rhyme that time. But anyway, that crushes one of those, which makes our job significantly easier. Now, they don't activate until we get to the end of the room, so we can actually just dream nail them to get some more juice. Right, here we go. Oh, I forgot to get Shade Soul. There you go. Defeated that guy. Oh. What might die? Oh, I very much might die. Oh, I'm going to die. Yep. Right. Look, I can't even tell. Wait, hold up. Oh, never mind. Okay. So yeah, that's why we leave the lever open. So yeah, we're gonna get that guy, and then we're gonna get Shade Soul if we have enough. And that is the second form of the Vengeful Spirit. And that is a lot more useful for that fight. Yeah. Usually it takes me quite a while to beat the first one, and before I started to go through. Oh, well. You know what? No, let's just quit right now. Because, yeah, it isn't as cool. Does seem a little bit wimpy, but no, it saves us having to go all the way back up to get our shade. And risk is not worth the reward. But yeah, what we have to do now is we have to go back to Dirtmouth, get an elegant key from Sly, and then when we're done there, we've got to come back to here, to Soul Sanctum, to that locked room I told you guys about. And in there is the second form of the Vengeful Spirit, the Void version. And yeah. Here we go. Oh, I didn't trigger the lemon enough times. So yeah. Basically, this is meant to be, you go through here for the first time, and that happens. But, no, we basically went every other place but the fountain. So that cutscene triggered. Oh, and we could have gone the other way to get to the stag as well, I only just realised that. Now that'd actually be faster, to be honest. What a curious set of events. Let's do a little bit of parkour up here. Just use that to go all the way over here. And go down here to get to the stag. And while we're here, we're going to get this geo. Yeah, I'm going to get this little artifact here as well. Might not have enough. No, it's 800, isn't it? Okay. Right, let's go to Forgotten Crossroads and make our way up to Dirtmouth. And then that way we can get some geo on the way there. That seems a bit topsy-turvy, but it will be worth it because we're gonna have to do this all eventually. Oh, yeah, it's infected, I forgot. That's what is, those guys explode upon their death. But yeah, those guys are just so annoying. And not just in sound. There you go, that's enough. Let's just see. You know though, while we're here, why don't we go defeat this guy? And get that grub. Right, okay, Dirtmouth. Now these guys explode, which is rather annoying. It means we can't just hit them because otherwise they'll explode on us. Here's where the final boss is being kept. That's where the vessel is. And while we're here, might as well get this as well. Right. Let's go buy the elegant key, which we actually unlocked by getting that shopkeeper's key we got all the way back in Crystal Peak. just be a bit quicker to go to the bench. Just need to get the stag over here. Here we go. And then we're going to go to city storerooms. Because, as I said, the Shade Soul is found in Soul Sanctum. Actually, since I'm not finding a boss, I'm just going to quickly... go here and equip that. We could just crystal dash all the way here. This lever, and we're gonna fight the other mini boss again. Except this time he also spawns these little baddies, which are the most difficult part about the fight. So we'll just make this done as quickly as possible. Didn't sit on the bench, did I? Nope. Oh well. Yeah, probably best to keep those on for now. Yeah, see what I mean? It's the little guys that mainly get in the way. Now, I do believe we'll defeat him this time. Famous last words, but let's just sit on the bench for extra safety. The annoying part is after we defeat him and get the Shade Soul, our bench point is reset. Here we go. So we can just quickly make our way up here. And there's another one of those snail shamans. Except this guy's been experimented on. And that is how we get the upgraded Vengeful Spirit. The void version of it. Ship. Just open this way. And we now go all the way back the way we came. Zoe is still there, by the way. I don't know why. So now that we've done that, we can go defeat the Watcher Knights. We can just go up here. And go over this way. And then just down through here. Preferably not do that. Don't know why I do that, just was habit. Right. I think this had been earlier. We can just... And now there are some flying guys above us who I find very annoying to deal with. So we're just going to go through this part instead. Just go to the bench over here. And we're all good to go. Need to check we had the right charms on. Yeah, the watch is the dream which takes the most time anyway. Send that one back down in case we die. Just saves us that time. Same with jumping up this way. Okay. Then we dream now these two at the same time. And now let's fight. That's 1 out of 5. We can just quickly heal. Nope. This is not going rather well. Again, that's why I set the elevator down. They are rather difficult. It's mainly about not taking any damage. That's the hard part. Most of the time after being on like 1 mask of health. So they sent the elevator back down. There. Thankfully it's easy to get more soul when we defeat after we die, because they're still there. And they don't activate until we get to the right end. There we go, that's good. There we go. Oh. I might get cocky. Oh. Oh. Again, what happens is, yeah, I mean, I die the first time, and then I'm more careful the next time. I don't try and rush up, and then due to that, I do really well. And then once again, because of that, I then start rushing it. Don't worry about that damage, we can just easily heal it. Oh. Wasn't even one of them that's focused on healing. There we go. Let's just focus on this one. Last one. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I got so scared of this thing. Right. Watch Knights have been defeated. Now we can make our way up to Lurian the Watcher. Yeah. Again, he's the longest one. The other ones, it's mainly about getting to them. But yeah, I mean, that's 25 minutes on its own. Takes about the same amount of time as the other two combined. Yep, as you can see, it's one of the dreamers. So when we dream now, then we're now in the Shade Realm, and all our health is restored. They might be expecting a boss fight, but actually they just sort of just stand there and let us slap them. At this point we focus to absorb them. And that is the Watcher defeated. Right. And now when we spawn back in, we should have all our health. Yep. So we can just start, we can just make our way down. Not that way. Yep, this way. There's a chest there, artifact up here. So we can just get all this geo. Yeah, there's also a grub down here, which you'll also get, because we like grubs. also use that lever at that point to then just have it come up next time we're here. And we do need to defeat both of these guys this time. Thankfully we can trap this guy off, get him for some juice. There we go. Yeah, that guy does double damage, so if he'd hit me just then I would have died. Yeah, nearly 1000 geo, which is lovely. Let's just get our health up on this bench. Equip sands again. Use our crystal dash up here, and we can just go to the stag station and go to Dirtmouth for our next area, and that is the teacher. And on the way there we're going to get some grubs. So to get there from Dirtmouth, which is the best way, we go from here into this room, and we take a little detour off this way to go get a grub and a mask shard. That guy explodes. I don't really like that guy. Or any of the other exploding guys, to be honest. Not very nice. There you go. We're at over 2 hours now. No, wait, no, not this way. Hopefully the exploded guys left us a lot of geo. So yeah, we're just gonna head down here. Always happens in the room, you always get sniped. And down this way. Believe it or not, we still need a lot more geo. And now there's a grub over here. Oh. That could have gone badly. Yep. Speaking of going badly, this is the explosion room. Because a lot of the things in here explode. as you could probably tell. Oh. A lot of explosions. So we need to get some extra soul in case we get exploded. Past that guy. That's what it's all about, the timing. Actually, come to think of it. Yeah, I noticed about that. And that was oddly satisfying. That, not so much. As you can see here, for all that to get a charm notch, let's just equip one extra. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah. Right, so we're headed to the teacher. Thankfully we can go in this acid since we have the Ismist here. So here's the teacher's archives, but we're just going to go over here to get another grub, because we like grubs. Just go over this way, remove Dash Monster, grip this one. You know what, Defender's Crest, why not? Wait, no. Just realised. Defender's Crest means that the shopkeeper Lem won't buy any relics from us. And also, it damages enemies passively. And in a room full of enemies, which explode, which hurl themselves at you and explode when you get damaged, that's not the wisest decision. Yeah. Here we go. The biggest jellyfish. That is Umu. That's the boss, and he is significantly easier than the Watch Knights. You know, our friend from earlier, Quirrell. The guy on the bench. But he's actually going to help us now. There he is. So I'm going to have to turn that timer off. Oh, I wasted that. So yeah, we just got to wait for him to attack him. And there we go. What's happening? I'm just gonna go down this way because there's no of those fireflies which you have to time yourself to do. And here is the teacher. So eventually Crow's going to show up here and he's going to talk about how the teacher was his mentor ages ago for the kingdom, and then he's going to do us a favour and he's going to use his mask to unveil the teacher. Now to repay that favour, we're just going to I want to say liberate him. Sounds a lot nicer. Once again, you absorb them and defeat them. And that is the teacher dealt with. And now we have to go to the worst area in the game, Deep Nest, which is basically full of spiders, scary things, and traps, and spikes, and more spiders. Yeah. For that we need to leave the teacher's archives, so to do that we're going to go this way, the same way we came, because there are these little electric fireflies you've probably noticed, and the other ways have like a corridor of them. You have to time yourself, which thankfully we don't have to do here. Well, not as much anyway. This damage is fine, by the way, but we're gonna heal very, very soon. I'll equip that one in favour of Dash Master. And this part is rather large, so we're just gonna crystal dash it. Right, so we're gonna go down here, but not fully, to this part here, and we're gonna enter the Queen's Gardens. This is the first of the four corners of the map, because the Queen Gardens is like rather far. And there's some more mantises here, and they are a lot more annoying. Thankfully all it takes is a Shade Soul and a single nail hit, and then they're done. But yeah, they shoot those, which are really difficult and annoying. So yeah, we just gotta go through Queen's Gardens, because there's a route through here to get Deep Nest. There we go. Thankfully there's a bench up here, which we are going to use, because this area is, again, annoying. You know, better safe than sorry. Oh, and here's Cornifer again. So we can just go here, rest, and then go get... Now, you might think that there's a boss for Hera, but actually there's not, surprisingly. Just gonna go through this part to unlock a lever. That's because Deep Nest is already bad enough that I decided they shouldn't have a boss. Maybe there was one bug will cut. There we go. Okay, up here, well not up here, down here. Now I do like these guys and they're very cute, but I have to destroy them because of the other mantises. So it's not, you know, it's not my fault. You can't blame me. I'm just a messenger. Oh. You can just ignore this one and get to a bench. This bench actually plays a very nice scene which we won't get to enjoy because we're speedrunning. Right, and now we're entering Deep Nest. to mention it's the darkest area in the game. It's not nice. Especially with the sound design, I absolutely hate it. And there are all these little spider guys, because, you know, we're not allowed to sleep normally, apparently. You may have noticed that the spiders actually resemble Hornet, and that's because Hornet is actually Hera's daughter. Because when Hera gave herself to one of the Dreamers to protect the vessel inside the black egg, she didn't have an heir, so the Pale King helped her create one, and that is Hornet. Thankfully these guys glitch out a bit sometimes. But yeah, I hate this place. I'm not even scared of spiders, and I want to go home. Best part is, since Silksong is following Hornet, they said that we're going to explore some more of Ancestry, I believe, or Deep Nest lore, which will be lovely. Yay. For all the areas to return in the game, of course, I had to pick spiders. I couldn't think of a funny name that one. Yeah, I'm not going to dash at this part because there's another trap, if I remember. Yep. So we aren't allowed to have nice things. Here we go. This is the Beast's Den. And so there's a bunch of people in here. They want to sit on this bench so they can feed us to the Beast. But if we just ignore them, we can actually skip a large part, including a really long cutscene, by going up here since we have the Monarch wings. And this takes us pretty much directly to Hera. There we go. Here we go, third Dreamer. And on most runs, after third Dreamer, we instantly go to the Black Egg Temple and defeat the final boss. However, for this run, we're going to get some more power-ups first. And there we go. Now it's going to set our respawn point over here when we wake up. So we're actually going to spend some more time in Deep Nest to save some money, because my arachnophobia is nothing compared to my cheapskating. I mean, I don't have arachnophobia, or at least I didn't before I entered Deep Nest. Here we go, up here, and then through here, if I remember correctly. I believe it's through here. Oh, not that one, that one's that guy. I don't know that guy. here then. Oh. I really don't like deep nest. If I get lost in here, I'm going to be so upset. Oh, no, I think it's this way. Yep. Nope, not this way. Then where is it? Is it up here? No, this is where we were earlier. See what I mean? I absolutely hate deep nest. It's so confusing. Go. Okay, you know what, actually we got enough geo to pay for the other thing, so it's no use spending more time just wandering around there. Right, and now since we got all the dreamers, it's now all about just getting a bunch of items. This way to the stag station, and now we're going to be going a lot of backtracking. Can you talk some more about how many stag stations have been opened? We go to Queen Station to get that other mask shard. Which is fairly straightforward. Dirt mouth. And we're going to sit on this bench because, like with earlier, if we've gone crossroads, I'm just going to sit here. Right, okay. Now from here, we're going to get the mask shard from Bretta. Then we go down into crossroads. Go and see the Grub Father. Yes, that's his actual name. This part involves a bit of waiting. Yeah, as you can see, we've saved a lot of grubs. That's what we mainly came here for. The third mask shard. And now we can get 4 mask shards for free. And now we have to pay for another 4. This guy still isn't done for some reason. There we go. That's Silksong, which is actually a very good charm. Considering the cost, it gives us some soul whenever we get hit. And I mean, considering how good at the game I am, very useful. Wait, not this way. That's right, we go down, don't we? Yes. Just gonna do this so we don't take any damage. Yeah, we already did that. So we're going to go see the charm seller Slubra again. But before we go here. Oh, yeah, that guy explodes as well. So you get the 4th mask shard. Shaboom. As you can see, we now get another piece of health, which is rather dandy. Thankfully you can easily outrun those guys. That's the reason why I didn't go to Forgotten Crossroads, because I didn't go to the stag station to get to Silubra, because it's actually blocked off now. Which is mildly inconveniencing. See, we only need 3 more. So we're going to buy this one. Let's think. Yep, we buy this one. And there's another one at the top for 300. Or 200. But if we need to, we can always get more. So it's better to just get it all in one place. I'll calculate how much we need after we beat Hornet a second time. And then from that side, if we need to go get a big geo deposit or not. Okay, nearly at 2.5 hours, and I'd say we have about 45 minutes left. If I could be my best time. So we can also now equip Dash Master as well, since we've got a new charm notch. This is where the little extra work we did later pays off, because we're going up to get the Pale Ore. We went out of our way to go use this elevator earlier, so that's pretty useful. And what's also neat is that the next snail upgrade costs 800 geo, but what's up here is a King's Idol, which is another artifact Lem will buy, and that one goes for 800. So that is again useful. This means pretty simple. From there we just head to the top and get damaged because we are very good at this game. And now up here, which you can only get with the monarch wings. I mean, there's a different trick you can do to get up there. Well, thankfully, if you hit one of these guys, they stop using the laser for a second, which is fine, apart from when they start walking to us, and it becomes very hard to keep them back. Other than that, yeah, pretty simple. We've just got some more platforming and parkour to do here. Just need to heal a bit. And then up here. There you go, we're nearly at the top. There, yeah, that way. Actually, we got that one before it could shoot us. And here we go. Went to the furthest area to the left, and now we're at the very top of the map. Hallownest's Crown. And here we can find our Paylor. So, now we can quit to menu. And now it's time to get 2 more upgrades. 1, we're going to upgrade our nail using the Paylor and some Geo. And then 2, we're going to fight Hornet for a second time and then get a King's Brand. Before we do that, we're going to buy a charm from Sly, since it's a very useful charm. Stalwart Shell. So, it's faster to get to the Nailsmith by going through city storms, but we're going to go to King Station. Actually, come to think about it, I don't think... No, this one's faster. But it's mainly because the way we get to Hornet, the area she's in, King's Edge, is that direction, it's through the biome in the map right next to this one, next to City of Tears, and we are on the edge of City of Tears. So we can pretty easily get back there. Oh. Boom. Also, one really good thing about using this route to get to the Nailsmith is we can also go through Lem. Oh, that was an accident. And Lem is actually out here for some reason, just to admire the fountain, and you can't actually use his shop until you go out and talk to him. So if we were to go down the other way, we'd have to backtrack quite a bit. But this way, we can just sell the stuff nice and easy. And we do have a lot of stuff. See, we've got a lot of geo now. 2,400, and that about 400 off. Oh, no, we have enough to get all the mask shards and the nail upgrade, and those are the last two things we need to buy. So we now have enough geo. We just need to not die. Should be simple enough, right? Now a cool little skip. Now we're going up into the second time. We have the Crystal Dash, Monarch Wings, and Mantis Claw and Dash. We can just use the Crystal Dash to go all the way up here. And then upgrade the nail. And now it does even more damage. Now we're going to quit back to the King Station Stag. And now we're going to the Kingdom's Edge. Literally, that's what the new area is called, Kingdom's Edge. And we are going to the far right side of the map now. So we've been far left, far up, far right. So it's just past this way, past these explodey guys. Grubs like there we're going to rescue, because we like grubs, even if they are for no monetary gain. It's only a couple of seconds anyway. And thus we can now go up here, and go this way. And now we're heading up here. And up to this bench up here. Just before the boss fight. It's going to remove Dash Master and instead use Stalwart Shell, which gives us more time to react, because it means that we get knocked back when we take damage, we get knocked back less, and also we take less damage, and also we are invincible for a long period of time. So as you can see, Hornet was right there. We're going to follow her, and yeah. Rematch. She's a lot better now. She also uses those things, which are very annoying. And there we go. So I'm just going to talk to her. I think now's a good time to start describing the lore. So, this guy here is a worm. And so, centuries ago, he arrived at Hallownest, before it was even a kingdom, and shed his large worm shell into a smaller form, which is that egg up here. From there, he then sent out a beacon that not only attracted bugs to his newly making kingdom, but also granted them sentience. And yeah, and so that was all fine and well until this being known as the Radiance wanted to take back the bugs' control, remove their sentience, and that's where the infection comes from. And so the Pale King did everything he could to try and stop the infection, but as you can probably tell, nothing ended up working. So he went to the very bottom of the world and found the substance known as Void. Using it, he created a vessel to then have the infection, because the infection feeds off emotions. So you have a being which feels no emotions, a completely hollow knight, who then dang it. Okay, I have enough to go as well. That's cool. You can then trap the infection inside, and then seal them away, and there'd be nothing for the infection to feed off, and it would die out. I think we went the wrong way, yeah. And so he set to work. He made a few vessels. I say a few. He made like millions of them, and then they all felt emotions eventually, and so then he just threw them to the bottom of the abyss, which is where the void comes from. Until eventually, finally, there was one which was truly hollow, and so then he erased that one, and then sealed it inside the black egg using the 3 dreamers. It was all good until something went wrong. The Hollow Knight felt emotion, and so then of course the infection overtook the Hollow Knight, and the Hollow Knight kind of acted sort of like a conduit, hence why everything is so infected, and why Forgotten Crossroads becomes infected Crossroads when you either take the Monarch Wings or a Dreamer. But we're not going to the stag yet. So yeah, and that's where we come in. We are one of the many, many vessels the Pale King made and deemed unworthy, who escaped the Abyss years ago, and then when the Hollow Knight failed at sustaining the infection, he sounds sort of like a beacon or whatever, and that's what drew us back to Hallownest. And yeah, that's basically the lore. So yeah, the final boss is basically fighting another vessel. And what we're actually going to do now is head to the Void, or rather the Abyss. I call it the Void because I play so much Minecraft. And yeah, and that's where we'll get the last power up. That being the Shadow Dash, which lets us phase through objects, which is pretty cool. So yeah, again we went to all four corners, we went to 3 of the 4 corners of the map, and now going to the very bottom, to the abyss, which is down here. And since we have the King's brand, we can now go down here. It's a rather long way down, but I found it's more tedious to get down it than go up it. Yeah. Yep, and the ground is made out of the vessels. That's how many of them there were. So these are void tendrils. It's best not to hit them, which I won't because I'm an epic gamer. Which I won't because I'm an epic gamer, and yeah. So to get there we need to light a lighthouse, which is what we're going to do now. Actually, hold on. Here we did go on the bench, right? Okay, so there are some other shades, siblings in here, and they deal double damage. And I was only on 2 hearts, 2 masks or whatever. So if I were to go down there, I probably would have died on the first hit. So it takes a little bit more time, but it is the smarter option. Because remember literally last run I did of this, I died to the siblings, and then lost all my geo, which was a bit of a shame. That was close. See, that's the problem with this strategy of just ignoring them, is that I now can die. Just one more hit and I would have died. Yeah. So what we do is we activate this lighthouse. And then we can go to the Shadow Dash. And then we can fight the Hollow Knight, the final boss. If we're lucky we can get it in under 3 hours. Okay. We're just gonna wait. And we're gonna fully embrace the void. So we can now phase through objects like this. Though you may notice the black particles because it actually has a bit of a cooldown. It means you can't just, cheese every boss by just phasing through them. Now we need to just get up and out of the abyss. Here we go. Let's just regen quickly. Let's horn it again. Right. Up here. Again, quickly regen, quickly focus. That's the term, isn't it? Focus. Oop. Here we go, nearly up there. Oop. And then we'll just go up here. Then we should be at the stack station soon. That could have been very bad. Those guys do double damage. Okay, that off. And we're also going to purchase a new mask from Sly. Actually, I'm not sure. I think there might be a couple geos short. I think we need like... Oh, no, never mind. Yep, okay, we have enough geo, that's good. That's really good. And all that's left to do is to go fight the Hollow Knight. sure that was it. Here we go. There we go, we can just heal a bit. Oh, missed that. Here we go, okay. Forgot that one does double damage. There we go. Okay. So when the screen goes black, that's it done. And there we go. Successfully beaten the game. Speedrun it before Silksong in 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 18 seconds. Title didn't lie. Told you we could get it in under 3 hours. So, yeah. We've been practicing a lot for this, so I'm very glad I managed to do it so quickly. I think my last best time was 3 hours and 15 minutes. I'm also curious to see what percentage we got. Because if I remember correctly, I got 46% last time, so I want to see if I got more or less. Relatively few deaths in that run though, which was surprising. I'm just going to keep on talking until the credits roll so we can see the percentage. Yeah. I'm very excited for Silksong because, I mean, of course, new game, sequel to this one, which is really good. But mainly it's because I'm really excited to just be able to explore a world like Hollow Knight again for the first time. And also it looks like it's like crazy speedrun potential. I mean, just like all the jumping at parkour and stuff. But yeah. I remember the first time I beat the game, which I believe was on Saturday or Sunday. I did speedrun it. I got to the Radiance on another save file, but I couldn't beat that one. And so there's 2 achievements: speedrun 1, speedrun 2. I have to beat the game in under 10 hours and 5 hours respectively. And so first time I actually beat the game, I got it in 4 hours, 59 minutes, and 22 seconds, which was pretty well coincidence. Anyway, let's see what our percentage is. %. 3 hours, 52 minutes and 5 seconds. So yeah, under 3 hours. New personal best. Well, thank you all very much for watching, especially if you're watching to the end. And yeah, hope you all enjoy Silksong and the last day of your summer holidays. Yeah, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all later.